Creating and sticking to a budget can be one of the most challenging but also rewarding decisions one makes to their path to a better financial well-being. However, it can be quite difficult to develop a sustainable plan that can stand up to the test of time. After years of trying to master my own budget, I've noticed largely what often takes me off track are the inconsistent purchases from month to month. In the past, I used to try quite hard to create a monthly plan where I was spending just about the same amount each month, but this tended to irk me when longer-term purchases that could save me money down the road were presented but not taken advantage of, simply so I could stick to my budget. Recently, I've taken a new approach to this plan in which larger purchases are embraced in order to save money long-term. Let me show you how the simple concept of bulk buying and off-season purchasing works, and when followed, how it can begin to save you money. The first and most important change in mindset to start with is to begin considering your budget as a yearly indicator rather than a monthly one. Now, that doesn't mean that you should stop tracking expenses on a monthly basis, and in fact you will need to in order to keep yourself on track. What it does mean, however, is when looking at your individual hierarchy of wants and needs, to consider making larger investments into those categories up front so that you can end up spending less on them over the course of the year. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me show you. As an example, when considering hygiene products, I typically budgeted $50 per month in the category, with $20 of that each month going into reusable razor blades for shaving. Over the course of the year, this made up just under $250 of the total $600 hygiene budget. However, these blades frequently go on sale and are offered in packs of 12 rather than 4 at a much cheaper rate per blade, often offered at up to a 50% discount all told. I could spend $120 up front for all of the blades I would need over the course of the year, saving me that other $120, and in effect eliminating that $20 per month expense, bringing my hygiene category way down to just $30 per month. This method works quite well with most repeat purchase in-house items such as cleaning products, detergent, and hygiene products. Now let's do a different example using a slightly different method looking into clothing. As mentioned in a previous video discussing sustainable clothing tactics, which I've linked above, the clothing industry can be a difficult system to navigate as marketing plays off of your short-term desires, trying to get you to buy things that you'll want to wear immediately but won't necessarily use over the long term. However, if you can adapt your spending habits to purchase clothing in bulk off-season and therefore sacrifice getting to wear things immediately, you can actually save quite a lot of money. The best way I've found to do this is by making a list of all of the articles of clothing I think I'd need 4 to 6 months from now. Typically, retail has large sales at these times as they're trying to transition seasons. The idea is that you buy your clothing in bulk at this time, making sure you have a clear picture of what you're actually going to need 6 months down the road. This is understandably challenging as it's difficult to predict what you'll actually want in the future. However, if you can get comfortable with this concept, it can end up saving you quite a lot of money. It's important to keep in mind that part of following this strategy means you should not be shopping for any major items during the actual season, as you may very well end up with excess clothing actually costing you more money. Additionally, the point of this lesson isn't to simply buy things when they go on sale, but rather to come up with a plan of how you can use that sale in your specific advantage, rather than making the common mistake most passive consumers make by buying additional products they don't actually need whenever they come across a deal. To sum up, creating a monthly budget that breaks down your spending into different categories can help substantially in taking control of your finances, and I recommend it to anyone as an initial step towards better financial health. However, there is a decent savings potential to be had if you're willing to rethink your budget just slightly. I recommend setting aside some money each year that can be used outside of your monthly budget to make some larger investments into items that will be used over the course of the year, such as clothing and household products. As a simple example, let's assume Jimmy here has a fixed monthly budget of $1,500 per month, and he's trying to stick to that amount for any and all purchases each month. Alternatively, Max here is using a more variable budget approach, in which he has $1,350 to spend each month, with an additional lump sum of $1,800 that can be used to purchase less consistent items over the course of the year. Both Jimmy and Max have budgeted the same $18,000 per year. However, with that $1,800 set aside, Max feels much more freedom to spend additional money in some months than others on bulk purchases mentioned before in order to benefit himself down the road. I plan to go over how I formulated my very own monthly and yearly budget in a future video, so please make sure to subscribe if you're interested. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for me, everyone. Once again, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I really hope these changes can make a positive impact on your well-being and help you to live a more sustainable life.